Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn on how we can transform data into dashboard using simple VBA code and also applying some formulas such as index match, sort and Textjoin. So basically what we are going to do is we want to use a data over here and we want to transform this given data into an exciting visualization or a dashboard using simple VBA code and some formulas such as index match, sort and also Textjoin. So basically in this given data, as you can see over here, we do have a respective countries and we do have the list of smartphone product. So basically I want to create a dashboard or a visualization based on the respective countries and also the smartphones product. So what I'm going to do is, first thing is I'm going to create a new sheet. So in this new sheet over here, I want to rename the sheet as dashboard. After I've renamed the dashboard, the next step what I'm going to do is I want to create a simple VBA code. So how to create a simple VBA code? So I'll just go to the developer and then I'll just go straight to the Visual Basic application. And once I click this, I'll go straight to the Visual Basic application editor. So you can also use the keyboard shortcut of alternate F11 to go straight to the VBA editor. So I'm going to press alternate F11 and automatically we have gone to the VBA editor. And then I'm going to click insert and I'm going to create a new module, and in this module over here I'll just create a simple VBA code. So basically in this VBA code, normally we'll start writing with sub or sometimes we start with function. But in this case, I'm not going to create a new function. Instead, I'm going to write a simple VBA code that begins with sub. So you might be wondering, what is sub? Sub means sub procedure. Basically, it's a process that what we want to create, some automation and whatnot. So once I written here sub, the next thing is what is the name of the macro or what is the name of the code. So the name of the code I'm going to write here is Malaysia. So in this particular code over here, this is actually the name of the VBA code, and then I followed with open bracket and close bracket. And then once I press enter, automatically the answer will appear automatically. So what I want to write in this particular code, basically I want to write start with worksheets and then after open bracket. So what worksheet? So worksheet is refers to any given worksheet over here. So we have intro worksheet, we have data worksheet, we also have dashboard worksheet. So I want to name it as dashboard worksheet and then followed by range. So range given is refers to any array or any cell. So basically I want to show a particular cell, for example just say C6. So I'm going to put here apostrophe C6 and then followed by value and then equal to Malaysia. So of course you might be wondering, what is this code? Don't worry, I'll explain to you in detail. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and then paste it over here. So basically if you notice over here, we do have countries like Malaysia, India, Australia and USA. So I want to create a VBA code for the respective countries. So I'm going to write here India and then over here, so India, and then I'm going to do the same. So here we have written a code for Malaysia, India. Next I want to follow Australia, USA. So I just want to write here Australia and then here also Australia. And then the same thing. So this code here is USA. And then over here USA. Okay, so now we have 4 different codes. So basically what is the idea or what is the motive? So basically if just say I run this code. So once I click run on this code, you will notice that in this dashboard it shows us USA. But if just say I put my cursor over here and I run this code, you will notice it will appear as Malaysia. So basically what is the idea? So let me show you. If you notice carefully, we do have the respective clicks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here right click and then I'm going to press Control, click this and click this, Control C, and then I'm going to paste it over here and Control V. So now if you look here carefully, we do have the respective flags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here right click and then I want to click as assign macro. So once I click here assign macro, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show here in this workbook. So in this workbook, if you notice, we do have the respective codes that we have created. So I'm going to click this as Malaysia and then press OK. And then I'm going to press here right click and then assign macro, and then I want to choose over here, this is this workbook, so India, and I press OK. And then I'll do the same for Australia, assign macro, and then do for Australia, and then right click here again, assign macro, and do this for USA. So basically what you are seeing is, if just say I click here India, you will notice it changes to India. If I click here Australia, you will notice it changes to Australia, and if I click here USA, it will changes to USA. So now it's like a slicer. That means once we click the flag, it will changes automatically. But now I want to show some numbers or some automation. That means once I click Malaysia, it shows me the sales of Malaysia. So now we do have a products over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all these, and then I'm going to paste it over here. So now we do have the products. So next step, what I'm going to use is I want to use the index match formula. So I'm going to press here equal index, and then I press tab. So once I click tab, it will show us the list of argument. So array means which area I want to select. So if you notice carefully, the array belongs to this area over here. So I'm going to select all this area, and then I log this data so that it logs, and then I press comma, and then it shows us row number, which row. So I'm going to use here match, and then tab. So what is the lookup value? Similar to a VLOOKUP, so our lookup value, I'm going to choose this value over here, and then comma, and then the lookup array, I want to highlight this array. So why I want to highlight this array? Because Apple, Lenovo belong to this array over here, and then I put here 0, close bracket, comma, and now column number. So column number, I'm going to select, I'm going to write match again. So I'm going to write here match, and then lookup value belongs to this particular value over here. I'm going to log this, and then lookup array, I want to highlight this area over here. Why I highlight this area? Because the countries belong to this area. I'm going to log this 0, close bracket, close bracket. So now if you look carefully here, it shows us the data. So now if just say I click here Australia, it changes automatically. If I click here USA, it changes automatically. So what I'm going to do is I want to press Ctrl D, and now it changes automatically. So now if just say I'm going to highlight this and I press alternate F1, it will show us a chart. That means if just say I click here Australia, it shows us Australia. If just say I click here USA, it changes automatically. So if just say I click USA, it changes, and I click Malaysia, it changes. But now if just say normally when we present our data to our bosses, top management, it is better to present in a presentable manner. Normally when it comes to column chart, when they make a comparison among the years or trending among the years. But now we are actually making a comparison between the products. So the best way to present is present it in a bar chart. So I'm going to go to the chart design, and then I want to change the chart type, and then I will go to bar chart. So I click the bar chart over here, and I press OK. So now if you look here carefully, so this is the bar chart. So if just say I click here India, it shows us the performance of India. But however, if you look here carefully, sometimes some managers, they are quite particular with presentation. They really care about the way we present. So normally when we present the bar chart, it is better for us to present in a descending order, meaning to say from the largest to smallest. So when I click here USA, we want to show from the largest to the smallest. So how to do it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this chart over here, and this is where we will apply the sort formula, basically to show a proper presentation. So I'm going to click here equal sort, and this sort is actually a formula appear from Microsoft Excel 365 onwards. So this sort formula over here, it has several arguments. So the first thing is array. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this array over here, and then what is sort index? So since we have highlighted this area over here, they will access which area we want to sort, which is column 1 or column 2. Because since we have already highlighted the area or array, so the next thing is we need to determine which area we want to sort, which is column 1 or column 2. So I'm going to choose column 2, comma, and then they will access either is it ascending or descending. So I'm going to put here descending format, and then close bracket and enter. So now if you notice carefully, in USA, the largest sales is Lenovo. When I click Australia, the largest sales is Samsung. When I click Malaysia, the largest sales is Huawei. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl A, alternate F1. So now we see this presentation, change chart type, and then I'll choose a bar chart, and I press OK. So now the thing with bar chart is, once I create bar chart, it shows us in a reverse order, in a ascending order. So what we can do is click on this y-axis over here, and then we press right click. Once we press right click, you will notice we will go to a format axis. So once we click format axis, a format axis pane will appear. So what I do is I click categories in reverse order. So now you will notice that now it is in a proper format, which is in a descending order. So when I click just say India, you will notice that the Samsung is the highest sales, and when I click Malaysia, you will notice Huawei is the highest sales. So what I want to do is I want to do some markup. So I'll just want to highlight all these numbers over here, and then choose accounting format, and then I'll just remove the 2 decimal place, and there you go. So now what I'm going to do is I want to upkeep this, remove the y-axis, and then I want to put the data labels. So now we have the data labels, remove grid line, and then I'll just remove the title as well. So now if you notice over here, this is the data as you can see. So I'm going to put this over here. So this is the data. So next thing what I want to do is basically I want to create a title, and then I click merge and center. So this is the title over here. So basically what I want to put is I want to create the automated title. So I just want to write here equal sales of smartphone in, and then apostrophe, and then I select this data over here. So basically once I click here India, it will show us sales of smartphone in India. If just say I click here Australia, it shows us sales of smartphone in Australia. If just say I click USA, it shows sales of smartphone in USA. So I'm going to make it middle, and then I'm going to put the size bigger, maybe just say 38. So now it looks bigger and better. So now we have an automated title, we also have the automated chart. And then the next thing what I want to do is basically I want to show the total as well. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to click go here. So this is the total sales. So I just want to put here, and let me just merge and center. So I will put here total sales, and then insert a box, and I'll just put it over here. And this box I put here equal, and link it over here. And then over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the format. So this side I'm going to put here comma, and then remove the decimal place. This data over here I'm going to make it center and middle. I'm going to make it bigger, so maybe size 29. So there you go. So this is the data. So now if just say I click here Malaysia, we have sales of smartphone in Malaysia, and then of course we do have the chart, we do have the total. So basically what I want to do is I want to make a dynamic presentation. I want to show to my manager that the highest sales of the smartphone sales is basically Huawei. So what I'm going to do is, so in order to create a story, what I'll do is I'll just write here in Malaysia, followed by a comma, and then I'm going to write here Huawei, and then accounts the highest sale of smartphones amounting to, so this is the data I'm going to put here equal to, and I'm going to link it over here. So what I'm going to put is I'm going to write here equal Textjoin, so that I want to combine the words. So Textjoin delimiter, I'll just put a space as a delimiter, and then I want to ignore the empty cells, and then I just want to link from in Malaysia up to account, and then I close bracket and enter. So basically I want to say that in Malaysia, Huawei accounts the highest sales of smartphone. Then after that what I want to do is I'll just put here and I will link to this data over here. So if you look carefully, so this is amounting to, I'll just link this space. So what I'll do is I'll create a space, and then so I want to say that in Malaysia, Huawei accounts the highest sales of smartphone amounting to 96,000. So when I click India, you will notice that in India, Samsung accounts the highest sales of smartphone. But then if you notice, this is not in a proper presentable format. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put here text, and then this is the value format. I'm going to put here RM, and then I'll just put here hashtag, and then hashtag, close apostrophe, close bracket, enter. So basically if just say I click here Australia, so you will notice that the highest sales is in Australia. Samsung accounts the highest sales of smartphone amounting to 92,000. So what I'm going to do is I'll just expand this data over here. I'll expand this and I'll expand this, and then I'll click here insert illustration shape, and I'll just click somewhere over here. So in this shape I'll put here equal, and I'll link this over here. So this is the data, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to home, and then I'll change color, so maybe to dark blue, and I'll change the font to white color. So now this is the data over here. So I'm going to do the same thing, dark blue, white color font and bold, and then here same thing, I'm going to change to dark blue and white color font. Okay, so now this is the data over here, and then of course I'm going to expand this so that it looks bigger, and then I'll just want to remove the grid line, so I go to view and I remove the grid line, and here I put here bold, and then I'll change the color to light blue, as you can see over here. So basically now I can make a presentation to my manager. So when I click here Malaysia, so we can see that the sales of smartphone in Malaysia. So in Malaysia, Huawei accounts the highest sales amounting to 96,000. When I click India, it changes accordingly. I click Australia, it changes accordingly. When I click USA, it changes accordingly.